Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate all of your support. And in this one I wanted to speak to you about being human. And I know that, this is something that is very prevalent among INFJs. As I've said many times before, we like to spend time in our heads, which is fine. We have a great imagination and we do not like reality in most cases. So we're trying to escape it by spending time in our heads or, watching TV or lots of it or reading books, lots of them. Basically just removing ourselves from this physical based reality. But as I've said many times before as well, is that you cannot do that on a long-term basis unless you have some sort of income coming in from somewhere, like if you have a trust fund or something like that. But even in that case, even if you're financially supported, doing this over a long period of time, escaping from reality, removing yourself away from society, living in solitude, after a while it can be extremely unhealthy. And in the beginning it feels great, you're like, oh man, I don't have to deal with people anymore, that's amazing. But after a while, I have to say that you start missing people. And I'm not saying that you miss a lot of people or that you want to be around people all the time, but you realize that you are not a solitary being, and even if your social battery is very, very low, eventually you do need to spend time outside, outdoors, doing things, playing with other people, hanging out with people, or just hanging out outside, getting away from your little cave. And all of us have created an amazing cave for ourselves, I'm sure, as INFJs. But being human means being outside this cave and spending time with other people, doing things that are in the real world. One of the things, though, as INFJs, I have realized when I was younger, I extremely disliked, despised even, being a human, being this physical being that requires so much care. I mean, come on, you have to eat 3 times a day, sometimes more if you have a fast metabolism, and you have to constantly be putting water inside your body. You constantly have to take care of it in so many other ways. You have to sleep properly, you have to make sure you don't stub your toe or do all these random things. You have to take care of your physical self. You have to give yourself supplements. You have to, go to the doctor if something goes wrong. There's a billion things constantly that you have to do in order to take care of yourself. Now, that was me, as I said, when I was younger. And I found the whole concept so annoying. Even breathing, you have to constantly be breathing. I was like, why? I mean, it's such a pain being a human. But as you get older and as you kind of learn more about your body and you learn how to take care of your body properly, that it doesn't require as much care as you think it does. You just have to do the basics, and a lot of times it does take care of itself. It knows how to heal itself. And as time goes on, you kind of learn more about nature, about your body, about the world, and bit by bit you do realize that it's actually, for me, I realize it's actually quite awesome being a human on this planet right now. Yes, there's lots of terrible things going on. Yes, it's not ideal, it's not a utopia, absolutely agreed. But in general, being a human, being this person that I am right now, this Shikha, this physical being that I am right now on this planet, in this world, I'm having a lot of fun. It is awesome being a human. It is good being a human. It is not the worst thing on the planet as I imagined when I was younger. Now, I'm saying this from a perspective of a person who did spend a couple of decades, or more actually, completely hating being a human. I used to hate every part of it. But as I said, as I come into this stage of my life and I realize I am free, I can move around, I have limbs to go from one place to another, I have my eyes to see all these beautiful things in the world, to read mangas, to read books, to understand things, to look at people, look at beautiful things in the world. I have, the senses, the sensuality of eating a delicious meal, of eating something that you really, really enjoy after a long period of time, and you're like, oh man, this tastes so good. And having that beautiful feeling of deliciousness, of hearing beautiful music, or walking and listening to the birds singing, or the thunder roaring, or the waves in the ocean. I mean, all of these amazing sounds, you can hear it because you're a human. You can understand what you're hearing because you're human. And so all of these different things that I have as a human, I'm walking around, I have this brain that can think and do things and then create money and allow me to travel and eat delicious foods all over the world. All of the different things, whenever I look at all the different things my body is capable of doing, I love my physical self even more. I love being a human even more. Of course, it came out of after years and years of doing yoga, of like building my mind-body connection, and still realizing that I have a long way to go. No matter how much yoga I do, I realize still like how disconnected I can sometimes become when I get distracted by my projects or distracted by a book I'm reading. I'll forget about my physical body completely if I'm in that imaginary world of mine. It is so much fun in that world, right? But every time I come back into this physical world, every time I come back into this physical body and realize, ooh, I'm here. This is my physical body. Look at it. It has bones and muscle and fascia, and it has all of these amazing things that it does. It digests things without me telling it what to do. It breathes all the time without me having to be conscious about it. It's killing you. Like, terrible things are entering my body all the time. My immune system is doing its thing without me being like, hey, can you take care of me? I'm thinking all these amazing thoughts, and I'm creating all these amazing videos, and I'm talking about all these amazing things because of the fact that I have a brain and a mouth and a tongue and vocal cords, you know. So I think as INFJs, we are amazing at our imagination. We're amazing at being in our head. And we need to use our imagination to realize the beauty of being a human in this physical self that we're in right now. Because this is the only reality that is right now, right? You can't transfer your consciousness into AI yet, right? So you have to be in this physical self in order to experience the world, in order to live in the world. Even to be in your head, you have to be in this physical self. And so as you realize that fact that you have to be here, like there's no other option. Like either you eliminate your body, you kill yourself. Obviously, you do not want to do that. I mean, I do not recommend it at all. Absolutely not. Not like it's fun being in the body as long as you realize how to be in it, right? It does take a little bit of time for INFJs. Actually, I would say it takes twice as long and thrice as long for INFJs to figure out how to be in their body as it does for everyone else. And that's why it takes us until our late 30s, 40s to be like, oh, this is what it is like. Oh, this is fun. This is my body. This is what I'm doing. Oh, interesting. It takes us that long to figure this stuff out. And that's why it takes us so long to be comfortable, to be all right with being a physical being. Now, this is only temporary. If you believe in any of the spiritual teachings, this is a temporary self, and eventually you will go back to that light being who doesn't need food, who doesn't need water, who doesn't need breath, who doesn't need air, who doesn't need anything, no supplements necessary. You can just be, right? And yes, you'll eventually go back to that form if you believe in that stuff. I do, of course. Or you'll go into whatever form that does not require sustenance. But for this moment in time, as you sit there or stand there or walk there, watching or listening to me, you are in this physical self. And so instead of fighting against it, constantly fighting against it, which is what I did for the longest time, constantly fighting against this thing that you cannot fight against, you are in this body. Just accept it. And that's it. You are in the body, and what are you going to do about it? You're going to be in this body in a really terrible way where you don't take care of it at all. Or you can learn to love being a human, and you can learn to love being in this physical self, and you can learn to love this status that you have right now as a physical meat and bones and whatever it might be, call it, with a soul inside body that you have right now. And so if you can learn to love it and to love being a human, love all aspects of it, even those aspects that annoy you, like the fact that you have to eat 3 times a day, and man, it's so annoying. Or, the fact that you have to constantly be drinking water. I mean, what is that about? To learn all these different things and to love it, and then to realize, hey, your body, for the little things that you do for it, gives you back quite a lot. Quite a lot. You can walk in the world, you can be in the world, you can see in the world, you can move in the world, you can think in the world, you can do all of these amazing things. All you have to do is love to be in your body and give it the love that it needs, which is very simple if you really think about it. The basics: food, water, air, sleep, and a few extra things if you want to be in optimal health, right? And so I just wanted to kind of do this video because not to be like, oh, braggy or to preach you, oh my god, like, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm in my body. No, to realize that this is the only reality you have right now. So instead of running away from it all the time, maybe it's a better idea to learn to be in it, and then that will kind of teach you better how to be in it, because the more you learn about your body, the more you learn what it needs, because every body is different. Every physical body needs different things. Yes, we need the basics, food, water, shelter, blah, blah, but every body needs different things. Some bodies need more vitamin C than other bodies. Some bodies need more iron than other bodies. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn more about your own body, what it needs, and you give it what it needs, it'll be satisfied and it'll pay you back 100,000-fold. And that's what I'm realizing right now. The more I took care of my body in the last 20, 30 years, the more I'm realizing now how much it's giving back to me. You know, I can walk for miles and miles and miles and not feel a twinge. I can think and do all these amazing creative things and not feel tired. I know all of these amazing things that I'm able to do with my life as a human being happened because I am taking care of my physical self. Because I love being a human in this physical self right now in this moment in time. I hope this makes sense to you. Hopefully it wasn't too abstract. If you have any questions about this, obviously, please let me know in the comments below, or you can email me if you have a private question. My email address is in the description. Again, thank you so much for being here, for listening to me rant on about random things. Again, thank you, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.